Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. So Austin Ammo Williams unanimously outpoints Patrice Volney in a fight that it was two very contrasting styles. You had Williams constantly moving forward, very, very busy with his output, lots of punches being thrown. And you had Volney, by the way, Williams is a southpaw. Volney from Canada. Came in with 19 wins, 13 KOs, only the one defeat on points. And his style was very contrasting. He was very much upright, a very tight, high guard. The commentators were comparing the guard to sort of Winky Wright. I get that, yeah, I can see that. Not as skillful as Winky Wright, of course, but, you know, at 35, Volney's not going to get many opportunities. And this, I think, in a sense, was one that got away from him. Now, I'm not saying that had he been, there should have been more output, that he should have thrown more punches, quite simply, because he was very, very defensively minded. And when he did let his hands go, he was having some success, and he was getting close to Ammo. Ammo weren't difficult to find, but the thing I liked about Volney's style was not just his defense, his high guard, but the fact that he wasn't being pushed back. He refused to move backwards, even when the force of what was coming at him. And Williams was firing a lot of salvos, even though there was that force of output coming at him. Even if he was pushed back, he'd immediately go back in. And he was trying to put pressure on Williams, but he just didn't let his hands go enough. And Williams was able to constantly, let his hands work. At times, he was looking quite tired at times, Williams, but he still kept up the work rate. And even though the commentators who had this as a very, very close fight, I think Chris Mannix scored it a draw, 114-114. I didn't agree with that, but nevertheless, they were saying, well, a lot of the punches, Volney was catching him on his gloves, his forearms, his elbows, but enough were getting through to win Williams the rounds. I had this 116-112, so 8-4 in rounds, wider than the commentators had it. But I do feel it was a winnable fight for Volney. I think that if Volney had combined that, refusal to be pushed back, the mental pressure he was putting on Williams, if he let his hands go more, he would, and he was having some success. I mean, there were some nice punches to the head and the body from Volney, just nowhere near enough of them. And Williams was able to just quite simply outwork him. That was it, I mean, Williams is a southpaw, so Volney, you would think would. I mean, I know it's this doesn't always apply, this sort of supposed truism in boxing. If you've got a southpaw, you fire the right hand constantly. Because they're supposedly vulnerable to right hands. Not all of them are, not all southpaws are. But Volney, I mean, that was just one example of something he could have done but didn't. But at times when Volney was exchanging, I wouldn't say he was rocking Ammo. He wasn't buzzing him, but he was breaking up his rhythm. He was making Ammo, pushing Ammo back, and Ammo does not like to be pushed back. We saw that against Hamza Shiraz. When Shiraz was pushing him back, Ammo was, really nowhere to be seen. And of course, he got stopped, in that 11th round of their 12 rounder in the 5 versus 5. He showed a lot of grit, Ammo did, a lot of guts, as you would expect a world-class middleweight to have. And he showed quite a bit of fortitude in this, because the one thing you have to say about Ammo is his engine ain't bad. I mean, his condition has been criticised in the past, but I think he's got over that now, because he was throwing so many punches over a full 36 minutes that had he not been conditioned, I think he'd have just got completely knackered and unravelled, but he didn't. A part of that is that Volney didn't throw, again, I keep repeating myself, but he didn't throw enough punches and put Ammo under any kind of real duress. And I think when Volney wakes up tomorrow, he's going to think, I could have done more. I could have let my hands go more. I could have turned it into more of a fight, I could have ragdolled him more. I could have got in there. I should have taken more chances. I should have gambled a little bit more. Because sometimes you have to do that in life. And like I say, at 35 now, the Canadian fellow, Volney. I mean, he ain't going to get many more chances, is he? He was coming off a good win over Stephen Butler. That was a ninth round TKO. And don't forget, Williams is only 2 fights removed from the defeat to Shiraz. So you would think that Volney would want to give Ammo flashbacks to that Hamza fight, which after all was only in June last year. It's not exactly in the distant past. And I know Ammo came back and had a win against Jean Garrido, TKO in 5 rounds. That was an 8-rounder. But yeah, it kind of got away from Volney. I think Volney could have and should have done more. But it's a good win for Ammo. It's a good win. You know, like I say, he's only 28 now, so he's still got time, plenty of time. And he after the fight, he was calling for all the champs. He said, "I want all the belts, all the unification, undisputed. I want the whole lot." Can he do it? I mean, the middleweight division isn't exactly stacked, is it? You know, Adames, I think, he showed more than a lot of people thought he had, including myself, against Shiraz. I thought Shiraz was very poor in that fight, but Adames is probably better than a lot of people are giving him credit for. Perhaps Eddie Hearn, who promotes Austin Williams, will go after that fight. I don't know. But what did you think of Austin Williams? What did you think of him? Do you think Ammo's overrated? I see him as being, good, maybe even very good, but not excellent. I see him as being beatable. Well, obviously he is beatable. He lost to Shiraz, but I see him as being. There are gaps certainly in his defence. I don't think he likes being pushed back. He seems to be purely a front runner to me, and not necessarily very adaptable. But let me know what you think, whether you agree with that or not. Yeah, comments below, please. I'd like to read them. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, thank you very much for watching. Please hit the like button, because you're helping the channel out. And also, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. It takes a second, costs you nothing, and you really are helping us out, and it is much, much appreciated. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking forward to reading your comments, and yeah, I'll catch you later. Bye for now.